Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cavalier Coach. I want to take this opportunity to talk about something that I realized recently, and that is that I understand that all living beings, all people, all animals, all plants want to live in a state of freedom. And to us, that means basically living how we want, where we want, with whom we want, doing what we want, when we want. It's like the idea of money. No one really wants money, but you can transform money into those experiences, which is ultimately freedom. But I want to share with you something that I only realized maybe in the last month or so, and that is that no one can truly be free until they are free of the need of the approval of anyone else but themselves. You can have all those things I just talked about in life, but if you still need someone to give you a nod so that you can find your peace, how can you possibly be free? If you think about it, is there an acceptable or healthy level of approval that you need in order to be free if you want to live life on your terms? And I think the answer is no. But the wording there, living life on your terms, that's when you don't need it. Not just you don't need approval, it goes against living life on your terms. Now, there are some people that need approval. For example, children need the approval of their parents because their parents are guiding them. An athlete needs the approval of their coach because they're trying to improve. You need the approval of your boss to keep your job. But in all these situations, you are not living life on your terms. You're living life on someone else's terms. And as long as you want to live life on someone else's terms, you're going to need their approval. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually living life on your terms. And if living life on your terms is something that actually interests you, I've got something I want to share, and that is that you need to let go of needing the approval of anyone in your life. You cannot be free if you need the acceptance or validation of somebody else. You're going to need to make it on your own. I know because I've been there and recently, and I realized the reason I was stuck, the reason why even though I built my life perfectly, I wasn't free, is because I still needed the validation and the approval of some people. And it's not going to be. And I realized that because I was doing it for either likes or nods or just not getting a glare, I wasn't free. I was performing. And I didn't want to live like that anymore. So I decided to get out of that. And I think, when I realized I was explaining my life, I think explanations are just excuses dressed up nicely. And I didn't want to live like that. I think I want to be truly free. There's only a few people's opinion who I care about now. And that is my children, my wife, and my own. And if you're not one of those people, I don't care what your opinion of my life choices are or my decisions. I honestly don't care. And I'm not saying that in a callous way. It's just that I've understood that for me to actually live life on my terms, I need to live peacefully in my mind, and I cannot live peacefully if I'm worried about what people think about my choices, especially people who are not going to live with the consequences of my choices. There's only a small group of people that are going to live with the consequences of my choices, and those are the people I just mentioned, and that's why I care about their opinion, because no one else needs to live with my consequences, so why would I be worried about their opinion? My opinion of myself allows me to live in a state of freedom, not caring anymore, not being shackled to that idea. Anyway, at this point, all I'll say is whatever it is that you're going for, go get it.